Well, good evening, everybody. Just want to get you an update on what's going on weather-wise here on this active Thursday night. Thunderstorms have really blossomed down to the south of St. Louis, even a few in the metro area. This is part of what we're dealing with here as this cluster of showers and thunderstorms has occasionally been strong and sometimes is producing some severe weather. Now, it looks like they've let this severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for Phelps County supposed to go to 11 o'clock, but it looks like the storm has lost a lot of its intensity. There were some circulations, and there still are some circulations. This storm here that's east of Steelville, south of Bourbon, south of Sullivan, where there's rotation in the mid-levels of the storm, but we don't think that's able to get to the ground, and we don't think that these storms are actually what we call surface-based. They're more elevated, which means the stronger winds that do exist up in the clouds are staying up in the clouds. But there is no question this area down to the southwest of St. Louis, Crawford County into Phelps County, now rolling out of Dett County into and across Reynolds and Iron counties. You also have this stretch across parts of Washington County into St. Francis and St. Genevieve County. A lot of not only heavy rain, but a tremendous amount of clouded ground lightning for this area down to the south of St. Louis. More so than what we're seeing. I mean, we have the clouded ground lightning in Jefferson County, but it's a lot more intense as you go farther to the south with those storms. If there's going to be severe weather, odds are it ends up being farther south and southwest of St. Louis here as we go through the next hour or two. I think then it turns into more of a heavy rain scenario. And let's be real, some of these thunderstorms are producing 2 to 3 inches per hour or more rainfall rates. So it's intense rainfall that's coming down. Now, the ground's been fairly dry, so initially it can soak it up. But if we were to get another batch of these thunderstorms that keeps on developing back to the north and west and moving over the same areas that just have heavy rainfall within the last hour or two, then we start looking at the potential of flooding problems. You can see the storms really blossoming here just south of St. Louis. That includes over towards Redbud, Waterloo, heading back towards Columbia, Illinois, Arnold, High Ridge. You're going to see some of these storms in the metro area put down some heavier rainfall, but they're not as intense as the storms farther to the south. The ones farther to the south still have at least some potential to produce some gusty winds and perhaps a bit of hail if we can get them to grow tall enough. But these storms around the metro area, most likely, they're just a little bit noisy and they will continue to drop a bit of heavy rain over the next hour or so. Watch the trend here for the next couple of hours. What's around St. Louis tends to move off by about 1 o'clock, but the potential is still there for some of these showers and thunderstorms to keep back building over the same area down to the southwest of St. Louis. Now, this would not be a good setup in Reynolds County, Iron County, going back into southern portions of Crawford County. You have very hilly terrain here. These are the float stream areas here as you go to the southwest of St. Louis. And in those float stream areas, you know, it's usually pretty shallow, but you get a lot of heavy rain over and over in the same spot, and you get pretty substantial rises on the float streams very quickly. Now, after 3 o'clock, one would think we'll be watching this all weaken and die out and fade as it pushes off to the east and southeast. And then tomorrow morning, we'll start out with temperatures in the 70s around St. Louis. Probably a partly to mostly cloudy sky to start us off tomorrow morning. Until midnight, so just a little while longer, Phelps County into Iron, Reynolds, and Madison County, we had that severe thunderstorm watch. And again, that's the area. We had reports of 60-mile-per-hour winds and at least a little bit of damage in and around the Rolla area. There are some limited scattered power outages down in Phelps County, but it doesn't appear to be widespread. As a reminder, right here on the app, the Live Radar 24/7 continues to stream for us. You can always get that at ksdk.com. We're always streaming that. Now until midnight, that's when our worst of it would be as far as any severe threat with some gusts 50 miles per hour or more. Do expect to see some downpours. I think that's going to be the bigger problem as we go into 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. If at that point we're still looking at repeated areas getting thunderstorms, then we'll be dealing with some flooding southwest of St. Louis. So stay aware, check the radar overnight. Again, we have it streaming for you as we go through the nighttime hours. Here's your flood watch. Southeast Missouri, southern portions of Illinois. It's basically our southern counties. It does not include the St. Louis metropolitan area. So while we may get a few downpours tonight, and honestly, we may see a few more later tomorrow, the potential for seeing flash flooding is higher down to the south and southwest of St. Louis. So here's our cluster that's been developing over the last few hours here, coming out of mid-Missouri and out of the Ozarks. That's on the heels of another cluster of thunderstorms that developed mostly south and east of our area earlier this afternoon. That continues to trudge down towards Nashville. Our next impact, if you will, is coming out here. Look at all the thunderstorms that continue to evolve and develop here across Nebraska, down into western portions of Kansas. That's going to create some kind of convective disturbance. I don't know what exactly that's going to look like, but the timing on that would be sometime tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, for that disturbance to be making its way towards St. Louis and initiate another round of showers and thunderstorms, potentially with heavy rain and potentially with some gusty winds. We didn't do a weather impact alert for Friday at this point because of the uncertainty on the severe threat. Obviously, today it's been very limited and much farther south and southwest of St. Louis. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we do have some scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up. They could be in the metro area. You know, this is a suggested radar picture for tomorrow evening around 7 to 8 o'clock. So if you have outdoor activities tomorrow evening, obviously, but the potential certainly there for some downpours in St. Louis. The one difference we see for tomorrow night is things are moving along. And I think once we get into later tomorrow night, any chance for severe weather should be shifting well out of our area as the ingredients needed for severe weather fade away. Now, we'll watch as that system pulls away on Saturday. Saturday morning, there could be some scattered showers around. It's definitely within the realm of possibility Saturday morning to see some scattered showers through the afternoon hours. We think mainly east and southeast of St. Louis on Saturday, your better chances for rain. But tonight, especially in the next few hours, the high resolution modeling really takes some heavy rain locally, 3 to 5 inches, across areas to the southwest of St. Louis. In the metro area, points to the north, maybe we see an inch or two between now and tomorrow night. But this area down to the southwest, that's the area of concern. Now, this takes us all the way through Sunday night. So obviously, it includes everything that might fall, not only tonight in the next few hours, but what might fall during the day on Friday, into Friday night, through Saturday, and into Saturday evening before everything kind of pulls away. And it's a higher resolution model, but it does give you the idea that there could be some strips. This is why southeast portions of Missouri, southern portions of Illinois have that flood watch in effect. The areas farther south of St. Louis also have soils that are a little wetter because of some periodic areas of thunderstorms that we dealt with that upper level system throughout the week sliding across southern portions of Missouri and southern portions of Illinois that did not produce rain for St. Louis. And in most cases didn't produce it down to the south, but there were spots that had some heavier rain. So that becomes potentially a problem if the ground's wet and you add in an hour or two 3 or 4 inches of rain. So we'll say stormy for the overnight hours, especially along and south of 70 in Missouri and along and south of 64 in Illinois. And the most likely timing is through 3 a.m. Then after that, I think things are starting to fade across the area. You work outside on Friday, it won't be terribly hot, but we should be in the mid to upper 80s, depending on the amount of clouds we end up getting and how thick they are. The chances for showers and thunderstorms will start to increase during the afternoon into the evening hours. For those of you that have plans at the area lakes this weekend, water temperatures back close to 80 degrees, if not a little above, and most of the weekend's going to be dry at most of our area lakes. Again, for the next few hours, that's our concern with the showers and thunderstorms. I think Friday morning, much of the day on Friday, not a whole lot happening. And then Friday evening into overnight Friday night, some more scattered showers and thunderstorms. Odds are it's not severe. Odds are it's noisy and some more downpours. But if you're camping, if you're outside, if you have plans, you know, it may impact those. On Saturday, we still have the chance for a shower or thunderstorm. But again, the chances start dropping off. Next week is one of those hot weeks. The average high now in St. Louis is 90 degrees. We are going to be there or just above pretty much most of all of next week under mostly sunny skies. Big upper level ridge builds overhead. That's the heat dome. But unlike what we had leading up to the 4th of July, this heat dome doesn't come with a lot of humidity. So it's not going to be miserably hot with the heat index at or above 105 degrees. But we may have some heat index values around 100 in the metro area next week. So we'll mitigate that as we go along as well.